So in this video, we are covering the wife material traits that I'm looking for in a new girl, both personality-wise and physical side of things as well. Okay, now, why would you care? I would say my taste in girls has evolved pretty heavily in the last 2.5 years, and I'm sure your taste is going to be very similar if you go through the experiences that I've gone through. And this is going to save you many breakups, is going to save you many bad times. Imagine, getting married to the grown girl and now you are stuck for life with her and you have the legal system against you. Like, there are so many things, okay? So in the last 2 years, I've gone from complete inexperienced, okay? I didn't insert anything anywhere, to now, after 2.5 years, I've gone on 411 dates with 202 different girls, and I end up clapping 54 of those girls, okay? So I have quite a bit of experience. I've had all types of girls in my dates and on my bed, okay? I've had Western, Eastern, older, younger, from America, Australia, Spain, Finland, Norway, France, Italy, Ukraine, Russia, Poland, Romania, you name it, okay? Colombia. So I've had quite a bit of experience, and I'm going to share with you in this video in the most transparent, raw talk way what are the things that I'm looking for, so you actually, take notes if you want. And yeah, let's get started, okay? I have a few notes here, and we also have a mirror board in the screen here. So traits, wife, material girl. So the first set of things, and let's just be honest, we are all men here. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're men. It's the physical side, okay? Now, my taste has evolved, okay? 2 years ago, when I had zero experience with girls, I liked a bit more thick, okay? Thick, clearly like curved, even a bit overweight. When I talk about overweight, by the way, let's just put numbers on things. So hopefully there are not many girls watching this, maybe they get offended. But let's say for the European audience, for an average height girl, let's say 165, 160 centimeters, over 55 kilo, 60 kilo, for most men that's still okay. And for me, it was okay when I was completely inexperienced, okay? In fact, the girl that I lost my virginity with, she was, I don't know, like 80 kilo, and she was like 150 or 155 centimeters, okay? Now, for the American audience, just double that approximately, so that's like 5'2", 5'3", and yeah, pounds wise, like probably 170 pounds, 180 pounds, so not great, okay? But now my taste is on the way more skinnier side. I just prefer them to be skinny, okay? Now, why? I don't know. That's the thing. There are like many religions and like many history books that tell you how men, we are, historically attracted to curves, like the Venus thing, right? Because that's a sign of fertility. It makes sense. I'm still attracted to curves, by the way, but I prefer them skinny girls. We're talking about like 45 kilograms, 50 kilograms. So that would be around, 95, 100 pounds, something along those lines. And the pattern that I'm seeing, and if you are disagreeing with this, by the way, you can have the taste in girls that you want, right? But the pattern that I'm seeing with all of my friends and the wingmans that I've gone out with, that they've also gone from, completely inexperienced, not any experience with girls, and now having like many girls in rotation or just having slept with many girls, all of us, 100% of us, we prefer now skinnier, smaller and thinner, right? That's the pattern that I'm seeing. So, and when I was like, I remember when I was 16, 17, and I saw these skinny girls, it's like, I don't like that. I prefer to be a bit overweight, a bit chubby than skinny. But now my taste has completely changed. Regarding, face-wise, small nose, green eyes, blue eyes, something like that. And yeah, I don't like extremely defined, like jawlines that seems like masculine, like all of these things you can imagine, right? So yeah, let's go actually to the personality traits now. So we have it here, personality traits. Now, you have a lot of content in the manus here, in the black pill, red pill, blue pill. There are many things. And the problem here, gentlemen, which is the problem that is overarching all of these things, is a lack of options. That's the biggest problem ever. Because if you had 3 or 4 girls that you're seeing, I would say your own choices or the act of choosing will tell you which one you actually like more, and you would see, okay, these traits I like, these traits I don't like. The problem is we are living in a situation where most men have no options. So basically they just stick to the option they have, and they save that as a default, and they treat that as a default, right? So they think that all girls are like this, right? And that's a big pain in the ass. So what I would say in personality traits that I'm looking for, right? I want innocence. By the way, I'm not English speaking. I think this is the way to write it. I'm not sure. So we have innocence. We have, femininity. Okay, I don't know how to write here. Femininity. Okay, innocence. What else? We have softness. Okay, we have loyalty. Now, these things, of course, they come when the girl perceives you as higher value, right? And when you have options and you are implicitly showing that you have options, then they're just going to be loyal, right? If they are not loyal, it's because they don't respect you, right? If they don't respect you, it's because they think they can get better, right? So everything is tight, right? So let's just go into like small things that show these traits, right? So for example, she cooks and cleans, right, for you, even if you are not asking for it. So she just does it out of nowhere. Let me put my head on the other side. Perfect. She cooks and cleans. She takes care of you, right? Of course, like it's your responsibility to take care of the family and take care of her, but you just feel the way she treats you, right? She introduces or wants to introduce you to her friends, okay? She texts you fast, okay? Now, here as well I am including some of the traits that all of the girls that end up being, part of my life, usually when I'm approaching them in the street and I'm meeting them, they have these things in common, okay? So when they text me immediately, when they double text, she double texts. Now, for some of you, this may be like, in what world are girls actually reaching out to you, even if you are average guy? It happens. It happens when you have enough volume, when you know what you're doing. And again, I'm telling you this from my perspective, like 2.5 years ago. Like, I was reaching out to girls online. Also, a few other years ago when I was in school, in high school, in university, I was texting them and they didn't care about me. You understand this? Like, I was exactly in your same position. And now I have girls texting me, okay? And I have to pick which one I'm going to see tonight or the next days, whatever, right? So, of course, this has come with, some pain, with many thousands of rejections and many iterations to do. This is coming from like a marketing guy that I used to, and I still have a marketing business, right? And I have like this kind of rational mind that I'm always testing new things, etc. So yeah. So she double texts, she texts you fast. That's important. She cooks and cleans. She takes care of you. She introduces or wants you introduce you to her friends. Not ashamed of you. Again, introduce to her friends and mom and family. Okay. Just 2 days ago, I was with a girl home here that I pulled home on the first date. And on the first date, and this by the way is not common, on the first date, she was already introducing me to her mom, like through phone, like she was recording like a Telegram video of both of us eating and sent it to her mom. Now, that's a big step, okay? That's a big step because most girls, like, they feel judged by their family, by their environment if they are coming home with you in the first date, especially in traditional countries, right? So, yeah. Other things, of course, she respects you and talks good about you in public, which also could be, taught or mentioned as she doesn't talk bad about you in front of others, right? Now, this is the interesting part. For example, one of the other girls, she doesn't explicitly ask me for money, right? One of the girls that I'm seeing now, a few days ago, and I think I made an Instagram video about this. She asked me after, 6-7 dates, can you give me some money? Or you can give me some money, something like that. And I didn't like that at all. Again, keep in mind, gentlemen, that I'm in the position of providing for these girls and I pay for everything, and that's completely fine with me. But still, there is something that I don't really like when they are asking for this, right? With this girl in particular, I already was intimate with her for many days, and it just felt a bit disgusting when she just was asking straight up for money. I understand it, right? I mean, maybe they want to see if I have the means to provide for them. Of course I have, because I'm paying for everything, but there are some tests they can make. And still, this is something that I didn't quite like when they are asking me literally for money. So I stopped texting her, right? And 2 days go by, and then she reaches back. And then I'm just giving like bland responses. And she's reaching, when will you meet? I already miss you, right? So this is things that I can only do if I have other options, gentlemen, right? Or if I consider that I can get other options. Because let's say that was my only girl. Let's say at that particular moment in that particular country, I'm only seeing that girl. And still I receive that message. I'm still not going to text her back, okay? Why not? Even though I don't have any other girls in that particular moment, right? Still I know I can get the girls because I have the confidence of all of my previous reference experiences over the last 2.5 years that I've built myself, right? And I was able to go on these many dates, right? If I really want to, I can just put hours in and, get the results. So it's not just the fact that you have options, it's the confidence that you are going to have options, right? And usually confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from experience. So it's a bit rare for you, it's a bit like wrong for me to tell you, man, just have confidence. Just have this abundance mindset if you've never had actually true optionality of hot girls that you are attracted to, that you would want to keep all of them. If you haven't had that, like all of these things that I'm telling you, like it's just not resonating with you. It's like, okay, it makes sense, but your belief system is not actually going to believe it truly, right? So that's why I think the best teacher is just having reference experiences and going out there and getting them, right? So this message that this girl sent me, again, I stopped texting her because I believe I have other options. And in that particular case, I had this other girl that I'm seeing, right? But if I didn't, still, I wouldn't have texted her back, right? Now, there are small things like this. You can just say, man, like, she just asked you for money. Like, come on, it's just so small. But when you date so many girls, you start seeing patterns. And it's not just one thing. One thing, it just develops into the next one, and the next one, and the next one, right? And if you let these things through, then, after a few weeks or months, you have a miserable life, right? Especially after years, if you have some legal attachments to this girl, right? So the lists here, to be honest, could be endless. Like so many small things these girls can do, right? But I would say these are overall. So we have the femininity, we have the softness, we have the loyalty. She's a nice girl, she's a good girl, right? I'm just talking from the top of my mind now. She likes you, she smiles at you. I had once, when I was in Budapest, I had this girl that I was seeing. She was a chef. I mean, she's probably still a chef. And there was something really interesting about the way she was looking at me, right? I saw that look in many other girls after, some dates that I'm dating them, and then they start looking at me this way, right? Like literally, like their eyesight is like this way. But with this particular girl, she was just staring. And when I say staring, I mean for hours. It was quite weird, but it was something that I never quite felt in that intensity before, right? So just to put you an example, I was working here, right? I mean, over home with the laptop, and she was laying on the bed. Imagine that it's that bed here, right? And all she was doing was just looking at me for 2.5 hours, like this, smiling, right? Didn't care about the phone, anything, just staring. So the the mental fortitude. Imagine you staring to the wall for 2.5 hours. Like, would you actually? I mean, of course, if you had some threats, you would probably do it, right? But would you take time of your day to stare into the wall? Like, it's just such a long thing, 2.5 hours staring straight at the wall, right? So how much does this girl need to like me or like any guy in particular to be staring at them so much time, right? So yeah, there was something in this girl's eyes, and the intensity was quite interesting, right? So anyways, I've had that situations with other girls, not to the extent of like so much long time, but I like girls usually not to be on their phones all the time. Of course, if you're dating like young generations, TikTok generations, you have to expect to be like this, especially in the beginning. But then once they know you and once they understand what things you want them to do or you don't want them to do, they are still going to adapt a few things, right? Now, you wouldn't want to say when a girl is doing something that you don't like, there is this mistake that you could be making, which is just telling her straight up, I don't like this, right? And would you say, man, is this actually a mistake? It's just your boundary, right? You're just telling her, I don't like you to send me these messages of giving me money. But Usually, high-value men don't say things explicitly in this sense when communicating with women, because we understand women are more emotional creatures. So most of the time, let's say feminine women are emotional, right? Unless this girl is very masculine, and the girls that I'm dating at least are not masculine, right? Well, there is let's just put things clear here. So there is a spectrum. It's not like feminine or masculine. It's mostly masculine or mostly feminine. So just to clarify here, and as you can see, these videos are just fully raw, and I'm just talking as the thoughts come in. But this girl that was asking for money, that's a masculine trait, right? And would you say, why is asking for money a masculine trait? And I think Jordan Peterson mentioned this like some years ago, or like in some of the books. In the corporate world, one of the qualities that determines if you're going to make more money, you know, when you are scaling like the corporate ladder, is your ability to disagree, your disagreeableness, right? And reasons why girls make less money than men is usually because they are more agreeable or they are less disagreeable, right? Because if you want to get, you know, a raise of salary in your workspace, usually you have to be, to some extent, disagreeable. You have to go to your boss, no, I want to get paid more money, right? So you're being confronting. You are confronting your boss. You are confronting situations in the marketplace, right? So this girl, she knows. These girls are emotionally very intelligent. When they are asking these things of, you can give me some money, they know they are being, you know, they are not doing the comfortable thing. So if they are willing to get some extra money, or they want to get some extra money, and for that they are willing to, you know, risk, you know, how I perceive them, that's a masculine trait, right? So as I'm saying, like mostly I'm dating girls that are on the feminine spectrum of things, in the habits, in the ways they look, in the things they do, in the way they speak, in what words they use, if they are tattooed or not tattooed, blah, blah, like these things, right? If they have previous experiences with men. Most of the time you are going to find a spectrum, right? You're going to find a balance. Whereas, for example, in America, and of course this is generalizing, right? But I've been there. I've dated American girls, I've dated Spanish Western girls. Usually the spectrum is more in the middle, right? So you get both masculine and feminine traits in girls, right? And usually girls that are a bit more open in the, you know, sexual space, they tend to be a bit more masculine, right? Because, you know, really wanting sex is something masculine. So yeah, generally speaking, I'm dating more towards the feminine side because that's what I like. I'm just naturally not attracted to girls that are, you know, just disagreeable and these things. And gentlemen, I'm sure it's the same for you. Now, you may have some fetish or some weird things, which you could, but that's probably because you're not very experienced with girls. You are just behind your screen, you know, all day. And, you know, I remember this because I was like this a few years ago, right? So usually the likings that you have is different compared to when you're actually going out and meeting girls in real life, right? So yeah, these are a few of the things that I'm looking for now. And as I mentioned, in the physical sense, I like a bit skinny, green eyes, like small nose. And yeah, like all I'm looking for is like girls that are a girl that can actually be like a nice mom of my future children, right? So yeah, they should be a girl that fully trusts you and fully respects you. And even if you make the wrong choice, and it's obvious the wrong choice, they are going to respect that, and they are still going to be, you know, supportive of you. And you have to take care of them, right? So of course, that's the other side of the coin. But yeah, gentlemen, hope you found this video useful. Let me know if you want me to make an extensive part of this video, an extensive, just continue making this video a bit longer with other list of things that I consider with girls. And if you want to know like in what way I managed to get this many dates in this such little time, I have a completely free system on the first link in the description. And there I explain how I got this number of dates and girls in just very short amount of time frame. So yeah, take care, gentlemen. See you soon. Bye bye.